Now, after the end of the Cold War, there was an expectation that German foreign policy would change. It was now a united country. It was the major economic power, even more so than before, and it now had a potential that it didn't have before. Realists, in particular, expected a military build-up. They expected Germany to reassert itself, and this would lead to arms races and potential conflicts with its neighbors, particularly France. However, this did not happen. In fact, German military expenditures dropped after the end of the Cold War because of the Eastern Communist threat was no longer there. Liberals also expected a change in German foreign policy. It expected now Germany to lay aside its reluctance and fully join into the community, to join in the activities of the international institutions it was a part of. In particular, one key opportunity presented itself in 1991 when Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait. Now, the Western-led, NATO-led response was controversial in certain parts of the world, including, I imagine, Pakistan. But in other parts of the world, in Europe and among the NATO allies, almost everyone agreed that getting rid of Saddam Hussein and kicking him out of Kuwait and making him go back to Iraq, making his forces go back to Iraq, was the sensible thing to do, except in Germany. When I was a child in school there, I believe it was grade 5 or 6, I remember protests happening among my older schoolfellows, protesting against the impending military operation in Kuwait. Now, this reluctance to join is something that liberals would have a hard time explaining, because here you have an international institution that agrees to do something, but Germany is not willing to do it, to cooperate with the international institution. Now, this is where political culture comes in. And in particular, political culture can explain the time lag between the changing external conditions and the adjustment that it took for German foreign policy. Now, even today, I would argue that German foreign policy is not simply that of a normal country, given its size and economic potential. But over a period of 10 years, there was a slight shift in German foreign policy. Now, according to the Duffield reading, what are the two key aspects of German foreign policy? Number one, anti-militarism. Military force is regarded as an illegitimate instrument of policy and really is only usable as a last resort. Secondly, there's a sense that Germany should not normalize its security policy. It should not be like France or England, which are quite happy to send troops for foreign military adventures. So number one, anti-militarism. Number two, multilateralism. This is another aspect that has ingrained itself in German political culture. Germany can no longer go the Sonderweg, which is a German word for going one's own special path. No more unilateralism. We have to show the international community that we are trustworthy, that we fulfill our obligations. Germany has anchored itself within a differing set of international institutions, the EU, NATO, and other kinds of institutions. Pursuing German national interests only happens in the context of close collaboration with its neighbors and allies. So these are two key aspects of German political culture, in particular how they impact its foreign policy behavior. Now, the Duffield reading mentions three cases where Duffield argues political culture does a better job explaining German foreign policy behavior than realism or liberalism do. So these three examples are: number one, Germany and its European security institutions; number two, the transformation of the Bundeswehr, which is Germany's military. And number 3, Germany's reaction to out-of-area conflicts and crises. So these are 3 case studies where Duffield argues political culture does a better job explaining German behavior as compared to realism or liberalism. So it is your job now, as part of your writing assignment, to explain why that is the case and how that is the case in each of these 3 issue areas.